In this sketchbook assignment, you're going to be making a composition that involves positive and negative space, and that will be repeated within 9 squares. So the first thing we need to do is create 9 squares on our sketchbook page. We're going to do that using a ruler, and I'm going to make my square box 6 inches. But I want to make sure that I keep that all square. So for my particular paper, yours may be different. I'm placing this line of the ruler at 8.5 inches along this border that I've created. You just need to find an edge so that you know that you're always lining it up the same. Then I'm going to make a mark at 6, 4, 2, and 1. That's going to create my boxes. And I'm going to do that again, moving my line up, making sure it's aligned the same way. And again at 0, 2, 4, and 6. Now I can connect those lines and make the sides of my box. Now I don't know yet exactly how high I want that to be, but I'm going to go ahead and add these 2 outer lines first. All right, now I also know that the height of my box needs to also be 6 inches. So I can pick an arbitrary spot here. Let's see, I want it to be about right there. So I'm putting my ruler, in this case at 7.25, and I'm just going to make a mark here at 6 and a mark at 0 up here. That gives me that 6-inch line there. Okay. Same thing over here, 7.25. Mark my 6 to 0. We're just working on getting everything square here. So now this is at 6, this is at 6, so I can just go ahead and attach these two here, making this first square. I've measured those out. Now I'm going to go ahead and connect these lines to do my inner lines, and I'm also going to do some crisscrossed ones that will be horizontal. Okay, so to do that same thing along this side, I'm going to make a mark at 2 and at 4. Mark at 2 and at 4. And then I can go ahead and make those squares. Okay, so now I have 9 squares. Now what I'm going to be repeating, I want to be the same. I'm just going to alter the direction of it, and I want to have a very obvious positive and negative space. So I'm now going to create a 2-inch square on this paper that I'm going to cut out to make my design. So I'm going to make a mark here at 2, mark here at 2, make a line across this way, and then I also need to measure 2 from this side. This way I know that the design that I create is going to be the right size. 2 points to make a line there. Okay. So whatever design I want to put in here that I'm going to be repeating, I can go ahead and draw that now. It's probably easier to cut that out. So let's just kind of create some kind of an organic shape here that fits inside that, and I'm going to go ahead and cut that out. Okay. So now I'm going to use this as a pattern, and I'm going to take my pencil and I'm going to transfer that pattern onto my paper. Then I'm going to change the orientation and put it a different direction. And you want to try and mix up your directions as you work. Continue this process until you have put your shape all over. Now I've repeated my pattern all around my work. So my next step is to start adding different values. I want to think about 3 different values. I want a really dark, a light, and a medium. I also want to share a little trick with you that when you're doing value work, take a scrap of paper, start in the upper corner and keep your hand on the paper. That'll prevent smudges. So let's go ahead and start with a value. I think I'm just going to make this part really dark. Remember how we did our value scale? I'm going to hold my pencil on the side and shade. So let's speed this up so that you can see the process. Add different values and try not to make the same value match up with another value. Practice keeping those values smooth. Now that I've finished with my values, I can take a look at what's going on here. This was our positive shape, our positive space. But looking at these, which of them appears to be dominant in its square? When we use a really dark value next to a light value, you can see that that really jumps out. Same thing for the reverse. But when we get into some of these lighter tones and values, it's a little less obvious. What is this my positive shape or is this my positive shape? You can also see that the contrast between these can draw your eye to certain ones. These are probably the ones that you pick up first, as opposed to the ones that have less contrast between the positive and negative space.